Greetings, hello, and welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I'm ImperialJedi. This is episode number 3, and a very fun, just transit-themed episode coming at you. Transit in the sense that we're going to be adding some new tram lines, some new bus lines, and I'd also like to build just a little mini waterfront transit hub. I was thinking, actually, it's a little bit more of just transit. It's kind of like a just road network planning kind of themed episode. But what I want to do is start to tie our highway in to a little bit of a transit corridor and a little transit hub maybe in and around here. And you can see I planted tons of trees for our city, looking pretty darn good. But yeah, it's kind of stick with the green feel and vibe. Like what I would normally do is I would make these into a full-fledged like elevated highway, maybe even add like a collector express system, so it would end up being like super wide. It would take up a lot of the city. It'd be almost impossible to miss it. It'd just be the good old-fashioned American highway, right? Nothing wrong with that, but we're trying to think, away from the car, right? That's the whole goal of the series and the whole point of the green cities. So what I want to do instead is I actually want to scale this down. So instead of using just regular highway, I want to use the National Road 2-lane, this guy over here, the two-way highway, and just have like a little waterfront parkway. And then right next to it, I was hoping to get a like a tram road, and then maybe like bike path and rail kind of corridor. So our waterways look pretty darn cool, I think. All right, so it's a lot of ambitious stuff, and that's what we're gonna be working on for the episode. But before we do any of that, let me just show you guys what I've been up to off camera. So besides the tree planting, which I think looks great, I just went in and I changed some of the neighborhood layouts just around slightly. So there was, previous to this, some zoning on both sides of the street. Just to help with vehicle traffic through here, I ended up dropping down a pedestrian pathway, put down some of these purple trees, look really nice. That helped tremendously because people weren't stopping, to drop off goods, drop off people, that kind of stuff for the shops. And I did the same kind of thing over here, but instead of the walkway, I just did a plaza. And I wanted this just to feel a lot more open because we're going for that community center kind of vibe. Don't want to be lost in like the jungle of like concrete and everything. It's turned out really nicely, especially with the new trees here. Nice little roundabout thing, some access down the down to the highway. Not highway, whatever road you want to call this, or little access road. And then over here, same idea, scaled it down, put in a park, changed this over to some commercial. We got really lucky with these buildings here. They have nice, deep, long parking lots, and we got the electric car charging parking lot right here too. So it feels like now there's like a little community car park, which is really cool. And yeah, I like the way this turned out. And I put a back little service road here just to help with traffic. So all in all, I think, yeah, just really good stuff. And I did something very similar over in the industrial part of town. So just made it look a little bit nicer. And I've just changed this to two-way road traffic. I think it was a bit smarter for the buses. All right, lots to do. We know what we want. Let's see if we can accomplish it. So I'd like to buy some tiles. I think we need to make that take that plunge. So we know we're going down towards the water. So why don't we buy these? Then we can do some expansion, build into this. We are going to have to make our way up to here just to get the access to the train tracks. So we'll probably have the one tile go here, followed by a second. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we can buy this one, so that'd be number 6. That gives us the access to the hills here, make ourselves a nice hilltop community. And then 7, 8, and then 9. So we're gonna have to maybe take a gap or skip one side. So we're gonna have to pick and choose, but we still want the downtown to be here. We want our harbor to be here. We just need access to the rails and a whole bunch of other stuff. We have 9 tiles total, but maybe towards the end of the series, when we get over all the vanilla stuff, we can maybe use 1 or 2 mods. Maybe, we'll see. And I haven't made up my mind on that just yet. All right, enough chit chat. Let's do some building. So trams, we're going to be using those. The trams, you get those from the Snowfall DLC, not part of mass transit, which you might think. And I want just enough space so that we can still run some rails through here. We can get the highway. And what I plan on doing with the highway is running it like right alongside. And if we do a gap of 1 unit in between this road and the highway, we can still get in some pretty nifty little connections. So we can still do those. I might just try and terraform that so it looks a little bit more level, but double try. It looks kind of cool. It looks like it's one big timed themed traffic light. We might end up having a bit of traffic problems through here, but visually it looks pretty darn cool. Alright, let's terraform. So I'm going to make sure that we're on the maximum intensity. We only need the small brush. I'm going to click over on our slope terrain. I'm going to right click here because that sets the height. And then I'm going to click and drag outward with my left one. So click and drag, pull out. And that just makes the height match the one that we set. So now when we redraw this road, it'll be flat, so the intersection will look a lot smoother. There, fantastic. So if we wanted to, we could take off one traffic light from here, make these into stop signs, and then have this as the priority, but still the traffic light just for, you know, for sake of this. I don't think that would really work too well because we don't have a lot of room here for backing up, but don't be afraid to play around with this kind of stuff. All right. Now I'd probably do the same thing, I guess, over here. Principally, it's not the right slope, so why don't we just do that same little bit of terraforming, give us a nice even area to work with. Bring this back on over. And then sometimes I will have that happen, where it's telling me it's already occupied. If you do the smaller road and then upgrade afterwards, you should be a-okay. There, cool. All right, so let's bring this road in as a tram road. And we're actually going to change that around slightly. I'm going to back this up. I was hoping I was going to make it, but not quite. So let's just back that up a little bit. Hopefully this will cooperate. Fantastic. Relatively smooth and even. I think we'll just keep that as it is. And now we can start building our transit hub just in this spot right here. And the transit hub is going to be more or less a big linking point for a tram route that goes in through here and then one that goes up to the community center. So that way the buses and everyone, they can transfer and get a little bit deeper into the city. And I mean, I don't know if we'll ever get the density to justify it. We might maybe do one little metro stop in here eventually, but I feel like this will be better served by light rail and buses, as well as, like, you know, bikes and like that kind of stuff. Okay, so just like in real life, we're going to want somewhere for the trams to go in, turn around. Maybe it's the end of the shift, so the drivers might need to park for a few minutes until the next guy comes, you know. So let's have a few bays over here. And just so we can get some zoning off both, let's do this. Cool. And I wouldn't mind having, say, like a back way in or something, because that'll help with pedestrian access. If we just do it trams only, we don't have to worry about cars or anyone getting in the way. I like that. And then maybe just for a bit of fun with the slope, why don't we do something like this, just to end things off. And this gives us a bit more room now to work with some more routes. Yeah, get that slope looking nice and smooth. Yeah, that works for me. So ways in, ways out, ways to turn around. Probably come in like this, go around like that. I don't think you'd go like that way. So we have to be smart about how we plan our routes. But yeah, I think this is exactly what we're after. Okay, so in this big spot right here, why don't we drop down this plaza or two? Yep, that works for me. And it would have been nicer if we had made this a bit bigger just to fit that. Yeah, you know, why don't we do that? It's a relatively easy fix. Let's put these down right away so we know. Awesome bit of space for some walkways around it too. Let's take off the road guideway. Yeah, that works for me. And then if we leave one unit as the space, then we can get also some trees in here too. So why don't we go like that? And that goes on top of that perfectly. Cool. And then maybe this can now be the back way in. And I think we wanted this to be only trams, and should be able to scale that down. Great. A little bit of a sharp turn. Maybe the original way in was the right way to do it. Yep, that's definitely it. Okay, let's bring over some power so our poor people, when we start zoning commercial and stuff, don't move out. And yeah, we'll just bring in the power lines, why not? So the power lines, just like the roads and stuff, you can change the height of them. So make sure your marker's on the low, you can page up, page down. So if you want to go over stuff, it's not impossible to do it. Just a little temporary power bridge right here. And connected, great. I'm going to leave it on 3-speed because this is going to be pretty expensive, and we're still going to have to place down things like the tram depot. Okay. Now, I was hoping to have a bit of zoning on this side and as well as the other tram turnaround. So we're going to have to change the layout, I think, slightly, but we'll still be able to accomplish what we're after. So we'll do that with the road and the tram like that, and then we'll have another tram thing. Maybe just pop out of this a little bit here for... Oh, maybe we do that. Ooh. Fun. I like this now. This is cool. And then let's try just getting a bit of a feel for like a bus turnaround point too. It's a shame that we can't get those little skinny roads in with the bus lanes. We'd have to go over to our road asset creator in the main menu to do that. So we'll turn off the stop signs and the traffic lights and everything here. We'll just hope that traffic doesn't get too bonkers. But I might maybe just do this. So places for buses to turn around. Some areas still for us to do some zoning. We've got tram turnaround points. Comfortably get lots of lines in here. Let's start doing some decorations and some zoning, yeah. Anyway, just really quickly too, only because our demand for it is like just so darn high right now, I'm just going to take a quick little second to just create a little neighborhood right here. And then just to kind of get some variety. Whoa, cool, I didn't know you could do that. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, so this way we get some variety in how the buildings come in. And oh gosh, these fires, they make me so nervous when they start. So yeah, here we go, speaking of which. So the fires, like really the only way to deal with these is to have the helicopters from the Natural Disasters DLC. And just, you know, check out the Paradox store often. It does go on sale. Put it on your wish list. Little memo reminders to make sure you check. The DLC, I mean, they do bring a lot more to the game than you guys might think. And I honestly have a ton of fun just playing, you know, plain old vanilla. You don't even need that many DLCs. But of course, there's mods, DLCs to change the experience. Alright, so just get some, yeah, some residential in here. Maybe a hint of commercial zoning too. There we go. And it's kind of a fun layout. A little bit different. And then we'll maybe keep this area here just as it is, and then we can start a new district. Because I just need to get some more generically in here to name after you guys. And I'll probably start doing that just after a few more episodes. I want to get to know you guys a little bit more first. There we go, so it's maybe something like that. Oriental Square. Unfortunately, no buildings in that theme though. It'd be cool to have like a Chinatown theme. So we want our residential plus our commercial to be the green theme. So a little bit of commercial right here. And then this will be residential. And then if time permits, maybe we can do some of the tree planting and stuff on episode or on camera. But I might just end up doing that off camera again. And heck, let's just zone on that little bit of the roundabout. Just dare to be different. And we'll just bring water over. But yeah, I just wanted just this to fill in. Maybe we can even unlock another population milestone as we're building. Awesome. And I'm just going to drop down maybe 1 or 2 services as well. And I think down towards the transit hub, maybe we should put down some services too. Kind of give people a reason to go down there and hang out. Okay, that works for me. I like that a lot. We'll probably need a wider avenue road eventually to make the approach inward. So just to remind me of that, I'm going to go like this. And maybe we'll link this up with a big roundabout or something, but we'll worry about this whole spot later on. We're just kind of concerned with here outward. Or inward, depends on how you view the city. Okay, so I'm just going to do a hint of beautification just along here, just to kind of show you guys what I would be after, just in case we don't get the time for it. I would probably do a nice big old row of trees just along this part here to kind of hide the highway a little bit. You can see on the highway itself we did do some stoplights, so that might seem slightly unconventional, but the theme of this is not to be this big old expressway motorway. It's supposed to be just kind of a relief line for some of our streets here. So the distance in between the traffic lights is quite tremendous. So multiple blocks. So you should be able to get a good amount of speed and travel through. So this still would be a faster way. But now if we do this, we're just not going to be seeing the massive oversized infrastructure relating to the highway and all the on-ramps and everything, right? It just has a lot more of a clean kind of vibe to it. And then, on the other side, we'd be doing things like a bike lane. Maybe we can get this to line up. Let me just see here. So we would do something like this. Maybe even have, some slightly elevated portions of it so we can allow some transferring. I'm possibly going to terraform that. And I'm going to maybe drop that in once we get the rail. So we still got so many more milestones before we can completely finish this. And goodness gracious me, these fires. Why, howdy. Well, we'll just have to pretend they're not happening because we can't really deal with them right now, unfortunately. Alright, so a police station down here, just as far as services go, and then maybe a clinic. Kind of give people a reason to come on down. And then when we can afford it, it'd be cool maybe to put one of the gyms or something down here as well. Alright, so I'm happy with that. We'll need a school, I think, up here. Probably use one of the newer ones, yep. Community school. Drop that right there if we want to. Nice. And then we'll put down the basketball court if we can get that to work. Just a little bit out of the boundary. Well, across the street it will be then. And the basketball court, I believe you get that with the deluxe edition of the game. And then maybe just get something else in here. Oh, great. And this way, when it gets really built up and overdeveloped, we still have these nice little pockets of, plazas, things you can see across. You don't get that concrete jungle kind of feel. Which I'm definitely trying to, cut back on in the city. I really am looking for that, city within the forest. Which I think we're very much so accomplishing so far. I mean, holy smokes, look at this, right? Trees galore. I love it. Fantastic. Okay. So let's now bring this in to our main road, and then we'll take a look at our traffic map before and after with the addition of our new transit lines. So lots to see and do. So I want bridges like that. Cool. And let's make this nice and smooth. So we'll have the 12-unit descent. Beautiful. Just dodging the traffic lines there. Or power lines, not traffic lines. Traffic lines, what are those? Jeez Louise. Okay. Now, just for oversimplicity for the moment, what I'm going to do is just get this to go more or less down what would be the middle, and then have those two just kind of link up. So, might not be anything too glamorous, but it should work. Okay, so let me just go like that, cut off a little bit here. Perfect. Awesome. Super easy peasy. There is the option, as you can see, to turn left here. Hopefully no one does. They might, but hopefully no one does. And we might maybe start seeing some vehicles enter through here just to get on. Take it the one or... And then there's nothing stopping us, hypothetically, from upgrading this, which I think I'm actually going to do. Let's upgrade this to single lane highway. There we go, our first customer. And this will reduce in-town traffic, hopefully. And I'll show you guys some tricks to help with this kind of stuff. I already had some questions in the comments about how to deal with some highway backlog and like this kind of stuff. All right, we got our expressway linked in and working. That's great. Our new transit hub, more or less up and running. Need some beautification and some lines and everything, right? But the framework is there. We're gonna have to put down some more of the infrastructure so the tracks and stuff make it through here. But we're getting there. And then we'll look at the transit map and the overall traffic map, and we'll talk about some ways to improve on both. And then, yeah, we'll see how she goes. All right, so trams are gonna come up through here. We'll keep our one-way road, but that'll just give us a chance to link up with some of these buses. So people can theoretically now come from here, switch over, take the bus the rest of the way. We're gonna, I think, do a second high-speed little bus point from here to here, take advantage of the highway, which means we're gonna probably want, I think, an off point right here. So why don't we do that now? So we want that on both sides. And we could, of course, change that to be a curvy, whatever you guys want. Cool, there are our buses. We'll take a faster route now. Super cool. So it updated the route for us, the express route. Awesome. Well, fire's almost out. That's good news as well, right? Okay. Keep it on 3-speed here, get some more money in. Get our tracks down. So when it comes to the roundabouts, what we could do if we wanted was we could create an inbound kind of thing like this, a little T-point like that. Or, which I think we're going to do, is do this. I would probably only do this inner road if we were dealing with a bit of a smaller roundabout. And then, you know, if the turns look too sharp for the trams to make, right? Just to add to the realism. Otherwise, I think this works quite well. Okay, so trams, they're gonna come up through here, just make a quick little turnaround at our shopping district. And again, just for that bit of realism, I'm gonna have just the slightest amount of backspace here for the trams to turn around past other ones. We will lose a little bit of the zoning, but in the name of progress. And just as a simple little beautification, what we could do is add a little dirt path down through here, just to get a bit of that nice, same kind of color as, you know, the plaza space and the lawns and everything. And then we could put down maybe some of these new trees even. Just have a whole line of these in the back. Nice little fun visual thing, right? Totally up to you. I think that's nice though. Okay. So trams going through. I don't think we need a tram along there. Along here is fine. Still might maybe need another bus in there. But okay, so our routes are now connected. If I click on this, we can see the purple for the tram tracks. We have a decent little starting network here. All right, let's go over some math. So our city, we are at, what is this, almost 5,000 or so people. We only have about 250 using our transit. So that's, I mean, roughly 5% usage. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's definitely nothing to be writing home about. So what I'd like to do is hopefully double this, maybe even by the end of the episode. I know we're kind of pushing it for time. But before we do that, I wanted to show you guys some quick little traffic things here. So the traffic map, the way to interpret this is, we'll put it on 3 speed so we can see the results a little bit faster, is it's just going to show you where traffic volume happens to be the greatest. It doesn't necessarily mean that traffic is bad through there, it just means you have high volume. So like here, for example, I wouldn't say that there's a lot of gridlock or like massive backlogs. We just have a lot of people going through here. Same with this spot, right? See how this is just starting to turn red? So what we could do, just to be a little bit proactive with this particular intersection here, is upgrade that so we get the extra lane. Maybe we can do the bus lane through here. And then that way, we've now got a left-hand turning lane that's dedicated, a right-hand turning lane that's dedicated, and the middle one can act as both. And we're turning into 2 lanes on both sides, so the middle one will get, you know, a lot of use out of this. And, you know, we haven't really changed anything around, like, hugely per se over here. But if we look back at the traffic map, I mean, that looks a lot better. It's barely hinting at going red. And so why don't we extend this the whole way down? And another quick little reduction. So here, right, starting to get a little bit red. If we wanted to get faster flow through, or faster timing, cut that road out. Now we have a 3-point intersection, so the timing of the lights will be a lot faster. If people want to go up into here, they'll probably continue here and turn left now. So that helps spread the load out a little bit more. And if we wanted to, we could maybe add an extra turning lane to this. So we're going to find our regular highway in there, just a little bit more area for the people to queue. So little tricks like that will help tremendously with traffic. So this is getting a little bit too bonkers. So that we could even erase, change into something else. Spread people further down, right? A lot better. Make sure our transit's not getting the hiccup. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so yeah, don't be afraid to look at this. Keep it in 3-speed, ideally, so you can watch the real-time results. But then, last thing I'm going to say on this, no matter how well you orchestrate your roads, you can have the best planning. If you get to a point where there's just too much volume, I think I said this before, like, gridlock will happen. So transit, it has to be the answer, always. Like, 99 out of 100 times in the long run. Transit and alternative means will be the best approach to getting traffic off your streets. Obviously, it's unavoidable, because you're always going to have trucks and everything going through, right? But if you can get everyone doing like their local trips and stuff to be in something other than a car, that'll help so much in the grand scheme. Okay, finally some transit routes. I'm gonna just extend this road just for the moment. I think I'll probably like keep a little, you know, offshoot side area for this because the noise is pretty bad. Don't want this near our residence, but let's just place this down right now just so we can get some trams out on the network. Just do the old loose connection there too, getting some water. Alright, let's start doing some networks, or some routes. So this one will just be a quick little up and over to here. And let's go out the back way. Even though there's no one zoned here yet, I'm going to put the stop down, because that helps the route pathing. And we want to come up through here. This just gives us a chance to later on zone. But you can always change, you can remove stops, you can add stops to the routes after you've done them. And why don't we go to the outside? There. Complete that. So there goes one route. So yeah, if we wanted to, we could see how it gives us the option to create a new line or drag line to add stop. So we'll just click, that adds a new stop. If we don't like that one, you can right click and remove it right away. The route gets recalculated, that's why you see those little icons pop up, but totally no problem. And if you wanted to, you can click and pull these elsewhere. That's going to mess up our route, but if I wanted that stop over there off the main road, we could totally do it. Just recalculates your route. And then another little trick, if you want, change the route a different color so you can see which one you want to edit. So say these were all red and overlapping, this would just make it a little bit faster for us to see it right away. Okay, so there's that route there. I would like now another tram route. This one can maybe be on a separate track. So like that. And this one I want to have go over to the little community hub over here. And it looks like it wants to go up and through here is the fastest way out, so let's allow it. Maybe one stop down there. And then let's have... It must be nice to have that as a one-way going out. I'm actually going to open this up to two-way traffic, just for the sake of this planning. So what we've done here is we've stopped in the middle of a route, so this is still incomplete. For us to continue it, I'm going to click on our previous stop, and then that brings me back into where, you know, just where we left off. So we'll stop right there. No, let's stop up here, and then let's go back down. Great. I wouldn't say these are overly long stops or anything, but... And let's go like this. But they're just kind of fun, and these definitely would be too short of a distance for like metro, and there's not enough volume, right? So buses or trams could totally be doing the job here. I think really well done. We'll have to upgrade the, or up the density eventually to kind of justify this, but so far so good. Okay, so we've got a route going from here to here. I wouldn't mind having a bus now that goes in between, acts as a transferring point for all of these, and then we'll have one more express bus route that goes from here down to our industrial zone. And remember, we were at about 250 before, so we're already getting a nice big bump to our transit. I think when we're done with everything, we should be getting close to that 10% mark. All right, so a new bus route will be going in over here. Let's create a new line. And then this one, oopsies, might help if we're on the buses, of course. This one will head this direction. Stop near where the shopping area is, just so we can get some turnarounds. And did I actually make this into one-way road? I think I did. That was not my intention. Oh, I remember. That was one-way from before, but I'm just going to change it. Why don't we use, say, this little spot here as our turnaround? Great. I'm thinking this might maybe need to be a traffic light right here, just because of the two-way traffic and all the extra transit vehicles coming through now. Keep that one the stop signs. We're spacing the intersections out, but I think that's going to be a smart plan of attack. Let's change this bus color over to the red now. Put it on 3-speed so we can start seeing some more activity there. And then let's do the express route for our bus over to the industrial area. So let's drop people off right, maybe the same spot. Maybe up there. Use one of those same bays. And then we'll just head on back down over here. Fantastic. And you guys have noticed what I'm doing is I'm clicking over here to get off of this. So even though it does the same thing, this way if I were to click and try to change the colors, it would end up adding more stops, and we don't want to do that, so that's why I'm doing this. So now when I click, it just lets me select the line. Awesome. And if you guys wanted, if you found that there was like too many vehicles on a particular line, you can reduce the budget and you'll see a real-time effect happen with the amount of vehicles, which is really cool. So if you want just like a little, say you have like a university bus line, you only want like one bus on it, go ahead and do that. Or if you want, I wish you could enter that manually. Little OCD moments here, right? Ah, whatever. So you got a little bit more customization, which is pretty fun. Alright, so let's let this go on 3-speed just for a split second more, just so we can really see the impact. While we're letting that happen, let's just do a really fast bit of beautification through here. Just kind of keeping that same theme alive with all the tall redwoods and everything. So I'm just dropping a whole ton of these down, filling in these spaces. Variety. Fantastic. And really, don't be afraid to use some rocks. I think it adds such a nice little bit of extra too. Okay, so just a little quick beautification, but I think job well done. And then now let's take a look at our transit numbers. Got a lot of vehicles going through. We were at 250 before. Oh, cool. Look at that. 369. Awesome, awesome. Almost doubled it. I think by next episode, if I let this run for a little bit longer, we'll see even more people using it. But not too shabby at all. And then how are we doing for traffic? Look at that. Just those little simple additions and just kind of change the layout a little bit. Oh, facility's full. We need new garbage. Definitely some reduction. So we got to pay attention. We're starting to get some issues over here. The timing of the lights maybe need to change, but overall I think we're okay. All right, friends. So let's end the episode off here. Definitely drop me a line. Let me know what you're thinking. Really happy the way this is coming out, though. So I'll probably do some more beautification. We're going to want to start installing some bike lanes through here, some walking infrastructure, get some pedestrian pathways up and over everything too. Maybe have some little waterfront viewing areas. So maybe a little pedestrian roundabout that's elevated so you can see the river, see the city, tie in some bridges. Lots of cool stuff coming up. All right, friends. Well, I'll see you in the next one. Definitely drop me a line. Happy building, and I look forward to reading the comments. All the best.